Tonight is Friday, October 6th, 2017. Tonight on Gayxyz, we're going to discuss the unfortunate situation that happened in Las Vegas. Also, is 250 sexual partners too many? We're going to discuss that. Nene versus Kim on Housewives of Atlanta, they're supposedly going back. And a marathon runner, try more tonight on Gayxyz, bitches.
That little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody moves. Now she say she gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. You in the club just to party, I'm there, I get paid a fee. I be in and out them banks so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give a fuck about who in front of me. Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months. What bitch working as hard as me? I don't bother with these hoes. Don't let these hoes bother me. They see pictures, they say goals. Bitch, I'm who they tryna be. Look, I might just chill in some babe. I might just chill with your boo. I might just spill on your babe. My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay. I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When it go fast as a horse, I got the trunk in the front. I'm the hottest in the street. Know you probably heard of me. Got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you hoes know it ain't cheap. And I pay my mama bills. I ain't got no time to chill. Think these hoes be mad at me. They baby father run a bill. Say little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money moves. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody moves. If you a pussy, you get popped. You a goofy, you a op. Don't you come around my way, you can't hang around my block. And I just check my account, turns out I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I put my hand above my hip, I bet you dip, he dip, she dip. I say, I get the money and go. This shit is hot like a stove. My pussy glitter is gold. Tell that little bitch play her role. I just a rope and no rolls. I just came up in a rave. I need to fill up the tank. No, I need to fill up the safe. I need to let all these hoes know that none of they niggas is safe. I go to dinner and steak. Only the real can relate. I used to live in the peace. Now it's the crib with the gay. Rolly got charms, the life frosted flakes. Hard to let these bitches know. Just in case these hoes forgot. I just wanna check the mail. Another check from all the stock. That little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the store, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money moves. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody moves. Bloody moves.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gayxyz. That was,
What's going on, everyone?
Sorry.
Hi.
that was Bodak Yellow. Is that her name? Or Cardi B? I don't know what that was.
Cardi B, Bodak Yellow.
But
Listen,
it's like
listen, all of
it's
the
like 3
ratchet
minutes and
listeners
40
know what I'm
seconds of
talking
my
about.
life that I'd like to get back, basically.
Whatever. Listen, she is speaking the truth. That's a song. She is addressing that song to her haters.
Couldn't understand
That's why you
anything
hear
she
us
was
a lot of
saying.
stuff.
I couldn't
Huh?
understand her. Couldn't understand her.
Well, all my ratchet listeners. She's number one on the Billboard Hot 100. So clearly, you're just the exception to to the situation because everybody else can understand her. So
Oh, well, yeah, I must be because I think she's crap, but whatever. I don't like her. Anyway, moving on. So, welcome everybody to the Gayxyz show. It is Friday, the 6th, 2017 at 10:30 p.m. here in Dallas, Texas. And do I sound okay or not?
Yeah, the real question is, do I sound okay?
Oh, okay. Because I don't sound okay on my end. Like my feedback, I'm getting like some weird feedback or something. I think it's my headphones or something. Hold on. Sorry. Anyway, I just sound like crap on my side, but it's probably just me. Anyway, so we are coming at you as always from Dallas, and we're just not going to talk about what we always do, just various gay hot topics and whatever's on our minds. And if you want to join in the chat room, you can go to gayxyz.com and you can click on our page that says Listen Live. And when you go there, you'll see a little box, and you'll see a little under the name of the show, which is Gayxyz October 6, 2017, or whatever show we're on at the moment. You click on the show, you'll see a little chat box under there. Click on that, it'll take you to chat on Spreaker.com. So you can also go to Spreaker.com and follow us and chat there as well if you want to chat with us. So, or you can call us, whatever, on Skype by dialing Off Limits Show, and we'd be happy to talk to you that way as well. So if you're listening live, which I'm sure you're not because you probably have lives because you're probably out and about on a Friday night, at 10:30 p.m., which makes a good gay guy, unlike myself, who's married and boring. So anyway, so this week we have, of course, more. Let's just get this out of the way first, because we almost always talk about this dumb fuck because he is the fucking. I can't even say it. He's the guy in the White House. Anyway, he this week has kind of outdone himself, in my opinion. I mean, he's really kind of outdone himself. He has now gone to Puerto Rico after much talk about why he didn't go in the first place. And he has thrown out paper towel rolls to the people there who have lost everything and are drowning and have died, and their homes are completely deluged with water, and because of the hurricane. So he thinks that he's doing something good. And I think, well, even the mayor of San Juan or whatever, I can't remember what city she's in, I think it's San Juan, she said that it was an insult to the Puerto Ricans that he did that. And I agree. What do you think, Jason?
I agree. I agree. I mean, it was. I don't understand. He was throwing out paper towels as if he was like playing basketball or something.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I didn't like it. Trump is just. He's just. I mean, that's the only way I can really put it.
He's what? What?
He's a dumbass.
Oh, a dumbass. I didn't hear that part. Oh, okay. Yes, he is a dumbass. That's for sure. I definitely agree with that. I mean, he actually thinks, and there's been lots of internet memes, of course, about, this whole trip he took to Puerto Rico. And there's one of them, I don't know if you're familiar with The Simpsons, but there's this character on The Simpsons named Mark. I think it's Martin or Marvin or something. And he's like totally weird and stupid and an idiot. He's always saying, "Look, I helped," or whatever.
Yeah. He's the one with the weird voice. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And they have him holding it, saying, "Look, I'm helping," and he's holding paper towels and has a Trump wig on. Anyway, I mean, and there's been several other memes about it, about him throwing paper towels, and like somebody said, Trump has some serious paper talent. Because like he's throwing a basketball on a hoop or something. Another one has him as Marie Antoinette holding paper towels on a plate instead of "let them eat cake." He's saying "let them eat towels." I mean, and then there's one that says his face on a brawny package of paper towels, and it says "dipshit" with thirsty O's for brawny messes. So I mean, there's tons of memes about it because he's an idiot. And even the past presidents, the 5 that are alive, I think it's 4 or 5 that are alive, have said it's embarrassing and he's an embarrassment. And after he went to Puerto Rico, it was such an embarrassment that these presidents went down there themselves. George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, Obama, and what's his name? Fuck. Oh my God.
There's Clinton, Bush, and Obama.
No, there's one more. What's his name? I have sinned. That guy. What's his name? I have sinned.
I saw in the still photo. In the still photo, it was 4 of them. There was Bush, Trump. Bush.
The guy from the
Trump.
70s. The nice guy. I can't remember his name. What's wrong with me? Because I'm old, I guess. He's the pastor with the peanut farm. He's the president of the United States, for God's sakes. I love him, and I can't remember his name. Oh, my God. What is wrong with me?
And I don't even know who you're talking about, so I can't help.
He was the one after Gerald Ford and before Reagan. Anyway, Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't even think I was alive then, but okay.
Well, anyway, you should still know your presidents. Anyway, Jimmy Carter was the one. He was down there. Anyway, so the four of them went down there, and they had photographs of them, there and what they were doing, and they were hugging the people. They were out with the people. They were listening to what they were saying. They were letting them cry on their shoulders, and they were actually being what a president should be and acting presidential. And they brought, what they could as well, I believe. And then even fucking Bethany Frankel from the Housewives of New York City, whom is a major mogul and has, almost $1 billion, whatever. She chartered four.
Wait a minute. She's worth almost $1 billion.
Yes, you didn't know that? Oh yes.
Well, I don't.
Before we discuss that, let's talk about what she did. First thing that she did though is she chartered 4 planes, and 4 full airplanes like jets, and with supplies and things for people, and flew them down there on her own dime. And handed out, things for people like clothing and water and whatever they needed. And she stayed down there to help in the cleanup efforts herself. I mean, so this girl is like, 2 pounds, soaking wet, basically. And she's done more than the president of the fucking United States. And he himself hasn't spent 1 dime of his own money. He's supposed to be so fucking rich. Well, where's your fucking help, asswipe? But anyway, yes, she's worth almost $1 billion. She's worth like 700 million or something like that, like 800 million, whatever, something like that.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because the skinny girl, it's very, very successful. Anyway, alcohol is very expensive.
In the stores and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've seen it in the stores, and type of thing. But
you've never bought any, huh?
Mm-mm.
Oh, the dressing is amazing, low cal, very, very good.
Oh, she has dressing too?
Yeah, she has dressing. She has bread. She has drinks. She has alcohol. She has tons of shit. Yeah. She has a whole line of foods and everything. Anyway, she's awesome. But anyway, I just want to say that she, a Real Housewife of New York, actually did something about it, and our fucking president won't. So it's really an embarrassment. So anyway, I want to talk about that. But speaking of Trump, you were saying that Michael Che, I watched SNL this weekend, calls out Trump on SNL. What are you talking about specifically? I saw the SNL this weekend.
So pretty much, they do that skit called Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much did a skit with Michael Che, and he was pretty much just saying that Trump is a bitch. There's an audio clip on YouTube circulating, but he was like, Trump is a bitch. Every time something happens, Melania goes down there in her flood heels and tries to assist and whatever the case may be. But he was pretty much saying what everyone is thinking, and it was pretty much just something about if anyone is darker than his complexion, then he has an issue with them or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Let's hear what he has to say. Let's listen. Find the right one. Sorry, it was the wrong one. Here we go.
I'm like, yeah, that sounds nothing like it.
Here we go.
After the mayor of San Juan criticized the government's Puerto Rican relief efforts, President Trump attacked her on Twitter, saying the mayor of San Juan, who was very complimentary only a few days ago, has now been told by the Democrats that you must be nasty to Trump.
Are we still on the air?
You can't hear that?
No.
Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't hear anything. That's why I was like, are we still on the air?
I was like, why are you humming over the thing here? Let's try it again here. I don't know why you can't hear it. I can hear it fine. And
Bitch.
Can you hear that?
After the mayor of San
A little bit. It sounds like the volume needs to be turned up or something.
Well, I can't turn it up, so you just have to deal with it. Here we go.
Half explaining what an island is. Just watch.
This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water.
What are you talking about? It's not a treacherous journey. It's Puerto Rico, not Skull Island. Cruise ships full of retired ants go there all the time. I think.
How nasty? Are you shaking? You want to go smoke?
Sorry.
To Trump.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Can you hear it now?
The mayor of San Juan,
No.
who was very complimentary
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God.
only a few days
I don't know
ago.
what
But,
the
I mean,
problem is, but whatever.
We can keep,
Anyway,
I've already seen the clips. I mean, you can
it
just
wasn't
complain.
for
but
you. It was for everybody else to hear it. But whatever. Continue. Just go on. Continue. Go on. Continue.
So I was just saying that that's pretty much what it was. I mean, you can play for the listeners too who want to hear it, but
That's what I was playing it for.
oh well, yeah, it's very, very, very little sound. But
I'm about to throw this across the room. I'm so over this right now. But go ahead.
so pretty much that's what it was. He was just pretty much saying that if anyone has a darker complexion than him, then he pretty much treats them like shit. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much that. And and the video kind of went viral because everyone's like, "Yep, he's speaking the truth. He telling the truth though." So that was pretty much that. I just want to address that. It was funny. I mean, it was a comedy skit, so it was funny, but it was truth to it at the same time.
Right. Well, yes, that's true, but whatever.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. Okay, anyway, moving on. So let's talk about the Las Vegas shooting.
So for those of you who have been living under a rock, there was a shooting in Las Vegas Sunday night. I actually the shooting was like late Sunday night. I didn't know anything about it until Monday morning because I woke up and there was like four or five text messages from like my friends and family. They were like, "Oh, you gotta pray for the people in Vegas," and I was like, "What the hell happened in Vegas?" I was like, "Okay, well, what happened?" So then I was running like Monday is like my busy day, so I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was in at the house all day. I saw that stuff kind of like pop up on my phone through CNN as like I was, running my errands, but I wasn't able to read it. I wasn't actually able to like really sit down and watch what happened until like Monday night.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, are you kidding me? So there's a gunman who pretty much lost his fucking mind. He was staying at the
Mandalay Bay.
Okay, thank you. I was about to say Bellagio, but I know that didn't sound right. He's staying at the Mandalay Bay. He had a room for like a week, and they don't know what his motive is. They don't know why he did it, but he pretty much broke out a window on the 32nd floor, 31st floor, 30-something floor. I know that much. And just proceeded to shoot these people that were attending I think it was like a country concert or something of that nature. It was like a bunch of country performers, that type of thing. So, I mean, there were a ton, like a shitload of people out here. I mean, we're talking about like stadium status. I mean, like what they say, like 22,000, I believe.
That was a lot. It was a ton of people.
I mean, that's a lot. That's like, you fill up a stadium with those type of people. So, pretty much, he just started randomly shooting these people out in the, at this outdoor concert. He's killed someone. So far, 59 people have died. And 516 people were injured. That's a lot of fucking people to get injured. I mean, at a concert.
And the sad thing is, they still don't know his motive. They don't know why.
That's the thing. But you know what? Here's the thing. I hate it when people go out and commit these crimes and that type of thing, and then they turn around and fucking kill themselves as if you can't take the fucking heat if you get arrested for doing this shit.
Because
like I feel like that is such like a bitch way to go out in this world.
I agree with you.
Like you don't want to handle the heat of what you just did, so you want to go out and just kill yourself.
No, they don't want to handle the consequences of their actions at all. They don't. They can't.
Like I don't fucking get that. And then they said didn't he say that he shot an employee at the hotel or something like that? Or
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I mean, it could have been. I haven't heard that, but
I can't remember. It was either he shot a police officer or either he shot an employee that worked at the hotel too, or something like that. But they survived.
They did survive. Okay.
Right, but I mean, like, what the fuck is this world coming to? It's like you can't even go to you can't go anywhere these days. You go to a movie theater, you get shot. You go to a concert, you get shot. You go to any outdoor event, you get shot. You go here, you get shot. You go there, you get shot. You go to school, you get shot. It's like, like I mean, where can you go at this point?
Well,
you go to a restaurant, you get shot.
What is the common denominator between all these people getting shot?
I have no idea.
Well, I'll tell you, it's called a gun.
I mean, well, I know that, but I mean, like,
well, I'm saying that's why we need more gun control, stricter gun laws, blah blah blah. And even
but see, here's the thing: they always bring it up.
Even the NRA themselves, who is completely Republican, right wing nut jobs, who run that organization and the members, and they are so, you're never going to take my guns. You're not taking my guns. Blah blah blah. They themselves finally, I mean, this is like groundbreaking. Sorry, they finally admitted that they might agree that there should be stricter gun laws, and for semi-automatics at least, or semi-automatics and automatic weapons should be possibly banned. And so now they're talking about it. But as you said, I think you're about to say, they always talk about it. They talk about it. We have something happen and nothing happens, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. I agree completely. Every fucking time we have these huge mass tragedies. I mean, think about Columbine and how long ago that was. And and then of course the Pulse nightclub, and then this, and then in between there's been tons of them, and yet we still have done nothing. And the reason is because the fucking Republicans in office and the fucking NRA and their lobby and the fucking deep ass pockets who don't give a fuck about people in general except for their fucking gun rights. And that's why, because they have a lot of money and they have a lot of lobbyists, and they lobby people in Washington to keep things the way they are. So it's sad, but that's what our country's come to. Basically, if the more money you have, the more you can get away with, and that's why things stay shitty, because the people with money are running everything, and the people without can't make anything happen because we don't have any money. So, I mean, not compared to them, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's just fucking sad, and it's going to continue. I don't think it's ever going to get any better. I really don't. And until we have, well, first of all, with fucking Trump in office, it's certainly not going to get better. And his whole cronies and fucking people in Congress who love Trump and his fucking right-wing nutbag base, it's never going to change. Now, I think that gun rights are fine. I think it's fine to have a pistol or whatever, or a 9mm, whatever, to protect yourself, whatever, fine. But having an arsenal or having automatic weapons is completely unnecessary to protect oneself. It's just completely unnecessary. So there's no reason for a civilian to have those weapons, and yet so many do. You and I could go right now to a fucking gun show and buy a fucking automatic weapon. Automatic, without a fucking background check or anything. So that's America.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. I mean, 59 people have died. They said the youngest was like a 20-year-old girl from California, 20 years old.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And then the 516 people that were injured, they said it was a combination of them getting shot and had minor injuries.
Yeah.
Or being trampled on, because when people started running, they said some people fell and got trampled. Well, because I guess a stampede happened, as it should, when there's just random bullets flying from somewhere you don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
So it was a combination of people getting shot with minor injuries and being trampled on.
Sad.
It's just sad. And the thing is, like, isn't his girlfriend from the Philippines, I believe?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Here's the weird, but didn't they say that he wired $100,000 to the Philippines? But I was like, isn't she Filipino? But they said at the time this whole happened, she was in China, so they said at the time she may not even known what had happened at that time.
But why would he wire her all that money? Now, either he did it because he knew he was going to do this to give her money so she'd have money, or it was to move money, so maybe he was going to try to get away, run off, and then maybe he'd have money. You know what I mean? So I don't know why.
So, and then the thing is, they were saying that the media is also saying that she was labeled a person of interest at one point, but they later dropped it.
Right.
I'm sorry, you should still label her as a person of interest. She may or may not have known what was about to go down, but she was the closest person to him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she knows a lot.
I agree.
I mean, maybe.
I think she knows more than she's saying, probably.
Exactly. So I'm like, you lived with this man, you slept with this man, you traveled with this man.
I don't necessarily think she knows he was going to kill people. I think she knows he was fucking maybe a little off or something.
But my thing is, how was he able to go out and get all these fucking machine guns and stuff? Because might I tell you, for the people that know that, he purchased one of those guns like right here in Texas.
Hello, I just said that. You can go to a fucking gun show. You can circumvent the entire background checks thing by going to through a private sale. You can just go to somebody who has a gun and have a private transaction, and not one that goes through an actual retail outlet or store. And you don't have to report it or anything else. And the other thing is, it's not traceable, and that's why people do it that way, because they can also circumvent the law, which actually in most states, automatic weapons are illegal. I think all states it's illegal, but it is for most of them. But semi-automatic certainly aren't. And you can also take a semi-automatic and turn it into an automatic weapon by changing it up. So, I mean, this is why we need stricter gun laws, and this is why we need people to actually legislate for us. And I think most Democrats and most liberals agree that we need stricter gun laws, regardless of whether you think we should have guns at all or not. I think that guns are okay to an extent, but what's this? Also, the other distinction is between America, the United States of America, and every other country in the world. Every other country in the world. Every other country in the world protects people from guns in a different way, especially Western Europe and stuff like that. You're not even allowed to have a gun in most countries in Western Europe. Like France, Germany, Italy, England, whatever. You can't even have a gun. Even the fucking cops don't have guns. They have stun guns and shit like that, but not guns.
But my thing is, how was he able to go and buy a machine gun and just did all these high-powered guns?
I
And
just told you.
no,
Were you not listening?
no. What I'm saying is, I'm like, you would think that the ATF or somebody would have, flagged it. I mean, here's my thing.
They can't
Because
flag something that's not reported. It's a private sale. It's like if I go to somebody's house, somebody on Craigslist, I've got an automatic weapon, which they wouldn't put because it's illegal. But you know what I mean. I've got weapons, and I know somebody who knows somebody who has weapons. I go to their house. I say, okay, yes, I'll buy it from you. Here's $5,000 for you, this Uzi or whatever, and then they give it to me, and that's not traceable. That's how it happens. That's why they don't know about it. ATF can't flag something they don't know about.
Well, I guess that's true.
And usually
I know when
they
I
go
try
after bigger.
I know when I try to go buy a
fish.
handgun, they checking my life story before they even hand me a gun.
But you're going to a retail store. That's what I'm saying. Retail stores are different. You go to a retail store, they have laws they have to follow, and that's good. But it's not required for private sales in America. That's what's so stupid. But anyway, it's a lot of hypocrisy behind all of this too, and why we don't have gun laws and stuff. But the majority of it, like I said, boils down to money and the lobby, the NRA's lobby, and how much they have billions, literally billions of dollars to spend on lobbying people in Congress and Washington in general to keep things the way they are. So anyway, speaking of shootings and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if it was a shooting or not, but you said a student kills a student in New York City. What's that?
Yes. Okay. Now I was watching this. This actually popped up on my timeline on Facebook. Well, you know how you watch like random videos, and I came across a story that happened. This happened in the Bronx.
Okay.
So let's see. So it says accused NYC school staffer was bullied to the breaking point. So there's an 18-year-old accused. Let's see, 18-year-old. The 18-year-old accused of stabbing his Bronx classmate to death and seriously injuring another one snapped because he was being bullied for his. Oh, this is new to me. Flamboyant personality. Okay, now so the student that his name is Abel Cadino. I hope I'm saying his name right. This is the 18-year-old that stabbed the 15-year-old.
Okay.
It says he plunged a switchblade into the chest of a 15-year-old Matthew McCree, killing him, and also slashed Ariane LeBoy. I hope I'm saying his name right. Who was 16, leaving him in critical condition. Now, when I was first watching this video, the fact that they said that he was flamboyant, this is new to me because I hadn't read the entire story. I was just going off of the video. Sorry, something just popped up on my computer. So just based on the mannerisms and everything in the video, I was like, I bet you they picked on him because he was gay. I was like, that's the first thing that popped up in my head. Well, even though the media didn't say that, and they didn't say anything, they just said, they was going to the basics saying that, oh, if 18-year-old stabbed a 15-year-old because he was being teased at school. Okay, gay people know we have that gaydar, okay? Even if it's a kid and everything. You look at the picture of this boy that's 18 years old, you can tell, you can tell that he's gay. I'm sorry. And I'm just
what else do you
out
think?
there.
What else do you think they mean by flamboyant? I mean, of course that's what they mean. Hello.
Well, no, I'm talking about prior to this, when I first found out, when they were showing the video of him being escorted from the school to the police car. Before they said any of this, I was like, he was being teased because he was gay.
Okay, so what?
That type of thing.
So he was gay. He's being teased. What else is new? Like that's fucking news.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is, I was just saying that those were my thoughts prior to reading this just now.
Oh.
So, and it turns out that they said of his flamboyant personality. And listen, the boy that stabbed these two boys and killing one, it's not, I don't condone it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. However, when you in this day and age, when you're in school and that type of thing, I mean, people will push you to the limit. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't shot or stabbed anyone or anything like that. But when you get teased because I was teased a lot in high school for being gay. So it's like, once you get pushed so much,
yeah,
it gets to the point where you just snap. I mean, because I remember in high school, I was in the 10th grade. This guy was a senior in high school. He was this big football player. And every morning I was on my way to English class, and every fucking morning for months he would make some type of smart comment or whatever the case may be. And then one day before I went to school, I got into an argument with my mom. I was in a bad fucking mood from the get-go. Then I get to school, so this is like third period. I have my third or fourth period where I have my English class, so it's still pretty early in the morning. He came down the hallway talking that shit once again, and before I knew it, I snapped. And we fought right there in the hallway, right there in between classes. And
Like physically or verbally or both?
no, physically. We physically fought.
Oh wow.
I mean, physically fought. And I mean, it's like you have that moment where you snap, and that's what happened. I just threw my book, I just threw my backpack off my shoulders, and I just walked up to him, and I just started punching and kicking and everything and everything. I mean, and then I like because in high school I was like the relatively quiet one. Like I had my close friends, but I really didn't. My thing was like if I didn't talk to you, like if you didn't talk to me, I didn't talk to you. That's how I was in high school.
Yeah.
So like and then when when a fight happens in high school, like it spreads like fire within an hour, right?
Yeah.
So then they were just like, oh my god, Jason got into a fight with Sean. That was his name was Sean, and they were just like, Jason, the quiet ass Jason. They was like, yeah, he got into a fight. He didn't get suspended from school, like all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it happens, and I mean, turns out we both had injuries when I was done because I had a busted lip and he had a black eye. So, but I was letting him know that I wasn't putting up with this shit. So then when all this passed, when I had my suspension and detention and all this stuff, went back to school, he didn't say shit to me afterwards. He left me alone after that. He know that motherfucker knew I wasn't playing anymore. After that, seriously, after I got into a fight with him, he just stopped bothering me.
Well, I think it's fucking. I mean, that's the way it usually is with a bully. You just have to stand up to them, and they usually leave you alone after that. Because usually bullies are scared too, even though they don't act like it. They're fucking scared of you too, to some degree. So
Right.
so fucking what? Fuck him. Good for you.
It was weird. It was like I had I had all of this like energy that just came from nowhere, and I just fucking lost it in that hallway. I remember it just like it was yesterday. I lost it. The principals had to come pull both of us up. Like some teachers, I remember one of the teachers tried to step in. She couldn't do shit. They had to send two principals from the other fucking wing that was forever away to break us up because I just kept hitting them and kicking them and stomping on them. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, if they would have put me off here, I probably would have killed that man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was just like, when they broke us up, like, I mean, and these assistant principals, they were big motherfuckers, and
Yeah.
they pulled us off and split us up, and that was it. So,
Well, whatever. People are assholes. What else is new? Anyway, moving on. I wanted to tell you about this because I thought it was interesting. I thought our listeners would think it was interesting too. And it's a new dating app that's called Connector. And the difference between this app and any other one like Grindr or Tinder or whatever is that it does not allow you to see what the other person looks like until after you've gotten to know them for a while. So what it says on their website is, in an increasingly materialistic world where appearance is considered to be all and end all, there are a growing proportion of individuals who feel incapable of discovering true love. We at Connector match according to what's on the inside rather than what's on the outside, placing emphasis on the fundamental elements of any relationship: character, personality, and mutual interests. So what do you think about this?
I fucking love this.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I
huh?
do because I mean in the world of social media and dating apps and everything, because I'm sorry, gay men, not just people in general, but particularly gay men, because I'm in the gay community.
Shallow fuckers.
Gay men are very judgmental and shallow motherfuckers. I'm
Yes.
sorry, they are, and I've said this several times on all kinds of platforms about this. I feel like that if you don't have a 10-inch dick, a six pack, white, and drive a Mercedes or a BMW and live in a $300,000 house, they don't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, and I've been saying this for years. So the fact that they come out with the app to where it doesn't show that other person's profile or a picture rather until you've spoken, talked to them for a while, I like that because so many gay men or just people in general just go off of what they see. They see something that looks good. Oh, he's hot and that type of thing. And then this motherfucker trying to be fucking crazy and he done fucked up your credit and all types of shit. So, I mean, you have some men out there that are hot and then they turn to be some of the hot. So, let me tell you something. Some of those hot men turn out to be some of the craziest assholes out here. I'm telling you.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
So I mean, I love the fact. What's the name of this app again?
It's called Connector.
Connector. I'm going to do this and just do a little bit of research on this myself and see what happens. Because being a person of color, I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've been on various apps and I could just say something just or just overall like, hello, how are you? And then they come up with some of the most racist shit.
Yeah, I know. We've
They
talked
also,
about it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we talked about this and that type of thing. So it's like, I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm going to download the app. I'm going to try it out and see how it works.
Well,
just
there's as a result of this, so the people have been discovering, well, before this, and the guy who started it, his name is something Reese. John Reese or something. But anyway, he's like 22 years old, and he started it because he felt that the same thing we feel, and most people feel about the shallowness of our community. But anyway, as a result of all of this research people have been doing about the fact that they're saying apps like Grindr and Scruff may be turning people into crazy sex addicts, according to Dr. Wendell Roseveare. The answer is yes. It says,
I agree. We need to interview this person.
It says the urge for instant sex due to the rise of hookup apps is turning people promiscuous and warping their judgment when it comes to safe sex practices, leading to an increase in STIs, particularly among people ages 15 to 35. That'd be you, Jason. So I think it's true, and I think it's good, and I think that connector. I haven't seen it. I don't know. It says a connector app's what it's called, but I don't know if you can get it on App Store or where. But whatever it is.
I'm pretty sure you can get it on the App Store and in Google Store or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
well, there's actually a website, and it's called 2000. Oh my God, this is a crazy site. Oh, it's like some fucking Wix site. But anyway, I'm trying to see if it's available yet. Is it available? No, I'm not sure.
Even if it's not available yet, I'm still here for it. When they release it, I'm going to download and try it out. Because
it says you need a Facebook profile to use Connector, and then it doesn't say anything about how to sign up though, so that's very strange. I don't know, but anyway, I think it's an awesome idea.
It may be like 10 where they do it through your Facebook profile or something.
I don't know, but regardless, I think it's a great idea, and I think that we certainly need something like this. I know that for me, when I was young, I was on the internet and stuff before the internet was even around, really, because I'm old. But anyway, in the early 90s and stuff, when that Prodigy and before AOL and all that stuff, Prodigy and CompuServe and other things. Anyway, and so the majority of my dating life from the age of 14 until I was about, 18 or 19, the majority of it was online. And I would do that, meet people that way. And this is how I met people, because it was really hard. It was a lot harder, especially in the beginning, to share pictures and stuff. It wasn't like, you could just upload whatever like you do now. Everybody has digital pictures of everything. In those days, you had to scan it in. If you had a scanner, nobody had a fucking scanner or whatever. And so,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, or you had to mail it to somebody or whatever. And so that's what I always had to do when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old. And so I would get to know people before I met them, before they saw what I looked like, and vice versa. And sometimes it would go well, and sometimes it wouldn't. And sometimes it's based on my racial background, and sometimes it's just based on not being attracted to me, or vice versa. So sometimes I wasn't into the guy, sometimes I was, and just depended. But the point is that I think that was a much better basis for a relationship than just your physical appearance, which is what the guy was saying about Grindr and Scruff and things like that, which really promotes that only. So I think it does increase promiscuity and increases a lack of connection between each of us, and I think that we need that. I think it's missing. And like you were just saying, and I was saying before, I said it today to my husband today, and to my friends yesterday, and everything else, and to my therapist on Thursday. I said, I don't know what the fucking deal is with this fucking world, but I said, it's like the world has lost its humanity. It's like people are fucking assholes to you. It doesn't matter how nice you are to them, how good you are to somebody, how kind you are, how fair you are. People just fucking fuck you over if they can. They take advantage of you if they can. They're rude or mean to you or insulting just because they can be. And I said, I wasn't raised like that, and I don't understand why everybody else in the world seems like that. He's like, it's not just you. He said, I know it feels that way, but I swear, he's like, I promise you, there are a lot of people who feel the same way that you do. And I think it's true. Don't you feel that way? The world's just kind of going to shit? I mean, the way we treat each other?
I do. It's just getting bad, and I feel like what's going on in the world with Trump being president, I feel like that has a lot to do with it, because
yes,
all the years I've been living, I feel like right now it has become the most racially divided in my lifetime, I can say. So it's like, every time you hear something going on that involves Trump, it's always some type of race relation.
Well, yeah.
So it's like I feel like I feel like it's getting worse. People, and especially when it comes to social media, people are ruthless towards each other on there, and it's
called,
horrible.
Yeah, it's called keyboard courage. I mean, people have the courage behind the keyboard. That's what. And people who fucking hate me, like I will say this honestly. I have a lot of people who fucking hate me in this world, and it's because I stand in what I believe in. I'm very stand up for myself. I speak my truth. I'm outspoken, and so that doesn't always go well, okay, in this world, because I don't acquiesce to people and bow down to other people. I just don't, because I don't think I should. So
you should tell them.
What?
You should tell them, so little bitch, you can't fuck with me if you wanted to.
Anyway, but my point is I have plenty of people who hate me and have hated me throughout my life and whatever, and it's fine. I'm okay with that. But the thing is, I would never do some of the things people have done to me that they've done to me just because they don't like me, and I would never do that because I'm not that kind of person. And it seems like people these days just fucking. They have there's no line. They'll do anything to fuck you over and to kill you or whatever. But anyway, I was going to say, as I was seeing in there, it said Chase was talking about the party lines. Yes. Okay, when my 18 and 19-year-old years and 20-year-old, actually 18 to 23 or so, okay, 976 numbers, chat lines, stuff in the back page of the voice, things like that. That's how I met a lot of guys that way too.
Oh, back home they had like a local chat line, like a local city chat line.
Yeah, we did too.
Where you can get on there and type all types of stuff. Sometimes it was mainly entertaining. Sometimes you go in some of the chat rooms and you like go into one of the rooms and they're talking about all kinds of crazy shit. And
right.
Sometimes you just sit there and listen and just laugh or something like that. But it was those, actually that was actually kind of like fun times. You just kind of sat on the phone for like hours and just listen to people just say and all kinds of shit, but that was just how it went. Oh, by the way, I want to say hello to Chase. I meant to say this earlier, so hello, Chase. And then William wants to know what happened to the chat rooms.
What do you mean? What happened to the chat rooms?
That's what he typed. He said, "What happened to the chat rooms?" Never mind. Sorry. Okay, I had to blow my. I thought he was referring to our site. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
William, I remember. You're right. Like, I remember when I was like in my early 20s, I was always on gay.com, and it had a chat room. You go in there and you chat, and you can meet guys, and you can meet and just chat for fun, or you can meet guys for like hooking up or whatever. But you used to go in there and chat. And I remember, William, in those days, you could go online. There's tons of chat rooms all over the place. And AOL, of course, had chat rooms. And that's how, when in the early 90s especially, that's how I met guys. And gay.com. Oh, yeah, I was too, Chase, all the fucking time. I was on there all the time. I met so many guys that way.
Yeah, gay.com was like the dominant place for gay men to go to.
It was the place.
Because I use gay.com all the time in college. I mean, I was on that thing like faithfully.
Me too.
So, but now, whatever happened to gay.com? Are they still around?
They're still around, but they got bought out, and they closed down the whole. They still have a chat area, but nobody uses it now. It's just kind of like a portal to gay information or whatever. I mean, you can type it in, you'll see what I mean.
Because back in the day, you can go on like each cities and different countries and chat with people.
Not
and
anymore.
All kinds of stuff. So
you know what I need to do? If it's this popular, we just need to start it over. We need to start a chat room site like that. Seriously,
we should.
If people really like to do it, because I know also like on I was on BTR, which is before I was on Spreaker a long time ago, and people would chat in the chat rooms in there all the time, and I think it's awesome. But anyway, okay, so let's moving on. So that was interesting. Now, this is what also I thought would be interesting is that the fact that there's this new app is coming out, whatever. There's a guy, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a hip hop artist. His name is Steve Lacy.
I've never heard of him.
Okay, I haven't either. But he, of course, because I'm not in hip hop anyway. But anyway, he comes out as bisexual, okay? And he's black. And he says, but he would never date a black guy. Now, I want to tell you what he said so I can get your opinion on this. He says, the reason for it all isn't anti-black at all. Growing up around black males, they were always my competitors, I never viewed or saw myself doing anything sexual with my neighbors. I literally, like I said, see them as brothers. As much as you or whoever thinks this sounds like BS, it's a real place. I'm a nigga from Compton. I don't dislike black people. I prefer to live here and be around people of color because I love black people. I'm just not attracted to black boys. That is it. I still love them, and I want them to do well in life. We just don't date. Sorry. So what are your thoughts on that, Jason, as a black man?
I mean, if he doesn't like black men, then hey,
Okay, so
That's more for a person who's not a person of color like black men. I mean,
so I was going to ask you if he were a white man saying this, would you be okay with it then as well?
no.
Well, why is that? That's a double standard.
No, I mean I'm not okay with this either. I'm saying if that's what he likes, that's okay because I don't like the fact that he says that he say he likes to be around people like him, which is fine, but he said he doesn't want to date a black person because it's like dating their brother. That's just like Rich Smiley's son that said he doesn't like dating black women because he thinks of it as their sister, and I'm like as his sister, and I'm like. What? Like that? When people say stuff like that, I don't quite understand that part. Like, oh, it's like dating my brother or dating my sister. I'm like, no, it's not. It's like dating someone who happens to be the same fucking color as you. It's not like you're actually dating your brother.
It
or
is
sister.
kind of
It's like,
stupid because I mean the majority of people in the world date people of the same race as they are. So it's like really weird to say someone of the same race you can't date because you think of them as your relative. I mean that's really weird.
right.
I think it's
but for him to
strange.
say he would never date a black guy, or when people say that I would never date a white guy, never date a black guy, or anything, I feel like they put that particular race that they don't particularly care to date as on a lower pedestal or however you want to put it, and they're trying to say the people that they're into as on they're trying to make it seem like this particular race of people is better than this particular race of people.
Right.
That's how I put it in my head.
Right.
Because it's like for you, because I'm like, why would you not date them? You said that you would not date them because it's like dating your brother or sister.
He said he is not attracted to black men. That is what he said. So he's not attracted to black men. So what? Why do you have to date someone the same race as you just because they're the same race? Just because he's black doesn't mean you have to date a black person. Just because a white person is white doesn't mean you have to date a white person. And I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid for people to get. I get so upset about this because people are trying to tell other people who they should and shouldn't date based on race when it's based on a fucking preference.
No. What I'm saying is he can do what he wants to do. I don't give a shit. He can date whoever he wants to date. But what I'm saying is when you say that type of thing, I feel like because you're really not giving us any particular, like for you to tell us that you don't like dating the same person who's the same color as you because you think of them as your brother and sister. To me, that's not a good enough answer because I feel like that's just like some bullshit answer you came up with.
Why does he
he
owe you any answer at all?
Well, he doesn't have to. But what I'm saying is, it sounds like he's putting this particular race on one pedestal and this particular race on another pedestal. He can date whoever he wants to date. I don't give a shit. He's not fucking with my love life whatsoever. Well, I don't have a love life, but whoever I happen to talk to, it's like it's not affecting me any. But all I'm simply saying is, in my mind, how I think is that when people of races say that I'm not really into this race of people, or I would never date this group of people. It's like, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, I'm gonna be thinking of something.
I've also said to you many times that, in my opinion, when people say they don't want to date black people, they don't want to date white people, they don't want to date Hispanics, whatever. Sometimes it's based on their physical characteristics. They're not physically attracted to that particular kind of person because to me it's just like, oh, you prefer the color brown to the color beige or the color red to the color yellow, whatever. And so they have more of a sexual attraction to people who are white or people who are black or people who are whatever. So my point is,
he's a hip hop artist. He's probably dating some white man.
My point is that I don't think. My point is so what if he is dating a white person? So what?
That's fine. I'm just saying.
You said that
based
you
on
with
the
judgment.
shit that happens in
you said it with judgment, though. You said he's probably dating a white person. So what?
That's what they do in Hollywood. A lot of them date outside of their race, which is fine. But I'm just saying that
you're saying it's fine, but you're not saying it's fine.
No. Listen. In the black community, this is things that we have noticed. We have noticed that a lot of people who, before they become big and become their startup, they date someone of the same race. Kevin Hart is one of them. And then as soon as he gets his status, and all of a sudden he's dating this, Asian bitch.
Well,
so
maybe
it's
that's because, and that's what I was trying to say a second ago, is that, in my opinion, the majority of this is not just about physical characteristics, but it's about culture. And so someone who grew up in Compton like this guy, and he ends up being wealthy and rich eventually or whatever, is going to be around a lot more different kinds of people of culture and different kind of people than he grew up with. Not just black people or Hispanic people or white people who were poor or whatever, but people who have money, and the majority of people in this country who have money, unfortunately, are Caucasian. Therefore, he's going to spend majority of his time around people like him who have money. Therefore, he's more likely going to be around people who are white. Generally speaking, he probably end up dating someone who's white as well. That is why it happens. It is not about, in my opinion, somebody selling out or being an Uncle Tom or all that kind of bullshit. I hate that fucking race shit. It drives me fucking crazy. I'm so sick of it. Somebody like me who's in between both worlds, I see both sides of the coin. I see the black side and the black argument. I see the white side's argument. But I understand both sides of the coin because I've gotten it from both sides before, okay? And I understand that it is hypocrisy. And so it pisses me off when people judge people for who they date based on race.
I'm not judging him. Look, listen, I date people of all races too. I'm not judging him for what he does.
That people
I
who
just
get
feel
rich,
like that his comments is kind of
people who
suspect.
get rich date white people. So what?
That's fine. Listen, like I said once before, he can date whoever the fuck he wants to date. I don't care. I'm just saying that his particular comment seems a little suspect to me. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not gonna lose I'm not gonna lose an ounce of sleep over this shit that he wants to talk to someone who is not black. I could care less. I'm gonna sleep just fine tonight not with him, whether he wants to date someone outside of his race or not. I don't care. I'm just simply saying that his comment seems a little That's all I'm saying.
I don't believe you.
Because I feel like that he's, to me, saying that, I forget it. I'm just like, him saying what he said, I feel like that's not a good enough reason. But you're right, he doesn't really have to give a reason, but the public statement that he's come out with, it just doesn't sound right to me.
What would be a good enough reason?
Really, he shouldn't even have to tell us because, first of all, I don't even know who the fuck he is.
That's not the question I asked. What would be a good enough reason?
He has to tell us. But why come out in a public statement? Why would you come out in the media and say that you would never date black men?
Why not?
What was the whole point of that anyway?
I think it's wrong for him to say. I agree with you on that point. I think it's wrong for him the way he worded it because it means maybe this is what you meant earlier. I think it's like he's degrading black men and saying that, like, I think this is what you meant earlier, saying that white men or Hispanic or Asian or whatever are somehow superior to black men in his eyes. And so I think that by saying that statement, he could have just said, I generally date white men or I generally date Hispanic men or whatever. He didn't have to say, I would never date a black guy. To me, it's the same thing as when somebody's on Grindr or Scruff or one of those apps or whatever, and they would say to somebody, no black people, or you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
No blacks allowed.
Right.
I've seen that.
Or no fats,
too.
no femmes, no blacks, whatever.
But that's the thing with that, because the reason the black community has an issue with this, because they did a study, and we talked about this, I don't know, several months ago. They did a study based on various races, as far as what the person sees or their ideal mate or whatever.
Yeah.
Out of all the races, African Americans were at the bottom of the total. Like, they were like the least likely to be desired by people of other races.
But you know why?
So
it's based on race. It's based on fucking slave shit and all our history in our country. It's not really based on preferences. So they've been taught and programmed by media and by their parents and by people in church and whatever, the religion, whatever, that it's wrong to date somebody outside your race. Some of them, and other people have been programmed just by society in general that black people are less than everybody else, or they're lazy, or they're violent, or whatever. All this stuff that's bullshit based on bullshit that was perpetuated by the KKK and people like that long ago, and also in slave days.
Right.
So I'm saying,
and I agree with William. I agree with William in this. William just said, why is there even a need to make this statement? Exactly. Like I said, I don't even know who the fuck this is. So why would you come out in the media and say that you'll never date a black man? Okay, so you said you'll never date black men. Okay, now what?
I guess he wants everybody to know he's not going to date a black man. I don't know. That's why I agree with you. It's
okay, but that's my whole thing. Well, like it's not like, Beyonce came out and said that she's divorcing Jay-Z and going to marry, Hugh Hefner or something. I mean, like, it's not like...
Maybe he was asked the question, though, because we don't know. All we have is the quote. The interviewer could have said, that's one of the problems with media. The interviewer could have said, so do you date black guys? And he said, well, I would never date a black guy, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he didn't bring it up on his own. You know what I mean? So you don't really know the context necessarily.
That's true. But I mean, for them to take this small piece and run with it for someone that we don't know and say, okay, you don't date black men. Okay, now you've told everyone you don't date black men. Okay, now what?
It's sensational.
Like, what do we do now?
Anyway, moving on. Let's move on. So, there was this other article I read about a guy who had written. Where is it? I'm trying to find it real quick. Had written about his sexual conquests in the past, and had stated that he had slept with about 250 men. And he was asking, is that too many people to have slept with? And people were responding or whatever. And he's,
in a lifetime, I'm assuming?
yeah, in his lifetime, yes.
Okay.
And
How old is he? It depends how old he is.
I'm about to find out.
If he's like, 30, then, that's a problem. But
right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what my number is, but anyway, where is this article? I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. It's up here somewhere. Anyway, so he said that he wanted to know. So he got responses or whatever, and they were saying, he said, I have herpes like everybody else, and so I don't really tell people I have herpes when I sleep with them. People were like, not everybody has herpes. I mean, he's like, you should be telling people you have herpes when you sleep with them. And he's saying, so do you think I should tell people? And blah blah blah. And people were saying, yes.
Yes, you should tell them. Why would you not tell them?
Exactly. And
to pass along to them, and then they have herpes for the rest of like this. See, I don't understand the mind frame of some people. Like, it's just because you have it, then you think it's okay to pass along to someone else. Like, I don't get that.
And then there was this guy here in America who was, it's America or England, I can't remember. I think it was England, who was poking holes in condoms. He was HIV positive, not taking any antiretroviral or whatever they're called drugs to, suppress the disease, which most people, when they take those medications, it suppresses the disease and they can't necessarily pass it on if they're undetectable. But this guy refused to take medication, therefore the HIV was completely active in his system, and he deliberately was having sex with men and then poking holes in the condom to give them HIV. And saying how stupid they were, and texting them after the fact saying, you're such a fucking idiot, you didn't realize I poked holes in the condom, now you probably have the disease. I mean, this is what the world's coming to. Go ahead.
But they do that. I mean, there's just like this woman who I think this happened like in Massachusetts somewhere. I want to say Massachusetts, I could be wrong. This happened a few years ago to where she was HIV positive and going around and having unprotected sex with men, and she knew she was HIV positive. She didn't tell them. So I mean, it's we should be surprised by this, but this day and age, we're not.
I'm not saying I'm surprised by it. I'm just saying it's just indicative of what we've been talking about and how the world's coming to this place where it's just people are losing their humanity. I mean, to not give a shit that you might give someone a potentially deadly disease just because you want everybody else to have it, or because you feel bad for yourself, or because you're just fucking evil, is just atrocious to me. I can't believe people are like that. I mean, I know they are, but it's just disgusting. But anyway, so back to the question, though, the 250. So do you think 250 people for somebody who is, I think it says here his age, and he doesn't tell us his age. Sorry, no. He doesn't tell us his age. Let's say somebody who's 40. You think 250 is too many? Or somebody who's 50? I mean, where is 250? What's the number that's too many to have had sex with somebody?
30.
You think 30? Well, I'm a big old fucking slut then, because I've had sex with a lot more people than 30 people.
No. I mean, no. I thought you meant like for his number. What's the? I thought you asked
the age. Because I started having sex when I was 15, so I was like, I've been doing it for a while. But okay, well that's good. 250 is high to me, though.
So William says, can't you get an attempted murder charge for that? But in most cities, well, in most states, you can be charged with attempted murder. It just varies from state to state. So yes, you can be charged with attempted murder. It just varies on the state that you live in. Most states do it, but not all of them. Which ones that don't do it, I don't know. But to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
But as far as the number 250, it really boils down to the age, because I mean, if you're older and you've had 250, then that's probably not so bad in a lifetime.
The way I've always done it is I've taken the number and divided it by how many years I've been having sex, and that kind of says, okay, I've been having sex with like 2 people per year, or 5 people, or 10 people, or 20 people, depending on how your number is. Then you can kind of get a kind of an idea. Because I think if you have sex, like when I was 23. I had my best friend named Ryan at the time. He was a huge slut. I mean, he had sex all the time. He was going out every night, all the time. We were very different, but we got along really well at the time. Anyway, so so he was always having sex or whatever. So one time I asked him how many people he had sex with. This is when he was 23 as well, and he said he had sex with over 600 men at 23. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I said, 23. I mean,
so he pretty much just dropping it hot like for everyone,
everybody, and he was doing it, top, bottom, whatever. I think he was versatile. I don't really know, but anyway,
he was busting it wide open for just anybody and
But
everybody.
I mean, I'm just saying, and I don't know. I don't like to slut shame people. I personally feel like if you want to have sex with that many people, then that's your right. You can do whatever you want with your body. And if you are safe about it, and you know your understanding of other people's feelings or whatever, and they just understand it's a one night stand, if that's the case, whatever, fine. But my problem comes up with people who are sleeping with that many people and they aren't responsible on their own end of this equation, taking responsibility for themselves sexually and STDs and stuff like that. And that's the problem I have with it. But I think as long as you're safe and whatever, I think it's okay. But I personally have always been somebody who likes monogamy and likes, who likes, I want to be in a relationship. I'm a romantic and hopeless romantic, whatever. It doesn't mean I haven't had a lot of sex, but it means that with a lot of people in the past. But but I always was doing it because I was in love. So I'm just kidding. Not really.
I don't know. You sound okay. You sound like Amber Rose at the beginning.
Anywho, so
speaking of, I just want to talk about her real quick. What is this whole thing with her about promoting this thing about slut shaming? Have you heard about this, or the slut walk? She has like this yearly event called the slut walk.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I guess she's pretty much saying the same thing. Like, you should be able to sleep whoever you want, as long as you're being safe, whatever.
I agree with her. I agree with that completely.
That's why I called you Amber Rose.
Oh yeah, I have no judgment about people. I have no judgment about anybody. I try not to have judgment about other people's choices. I think individually, I wouldn't want to sleep with that many people, or sleep around that much, because I think it's just not for me. But I mean, if you want to sleep around with a lot of people, that's your choice. It's your body. Speaking of sleeping with too many people or the wrong people, I'm trying to transition here. It's not a very good one, but anyway, Glee's Mark Salling has been indicted on child pornography. And Glee, he was Puck on Glee, by the way, if you don't know who this is.
I never watched Glee. I just saw it pop up.
Well,
on
for the
my
listeners
phone.
out there who have watched Glee, which I'm sure a lot of them have, he was indicted on child pornography charges, and he could spend 20 to 30 years in prison and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so and now my question was, I was wondering, was he looking at like pictures of kids who were like 17 years old, 18, 17, 16, whatever, or was he looking at kids who were like 3 years old, whatever? He was looking at kids who were like 3 and 4 years old, and that's
what?
Disgusting. Like 3 to 5, I think it said. I was like, wow. I was like, wow. That's really sick. So he's he's a true pedophile. And so anyway, he's serving time, or about to serve time or whatever, for his they found it on his computer and everything else a couple years back. And so those of you who watched Glee, now you know. A marathon runner was running and his junk fell out when he was crossing the finish line, and everybody was looking at it and oohing and awing because it was apparently a big one.
I didn't watch the video. I tried to watch the video, but I think they deleted it or took it down or whatever. But everyone was commenting saying that he had big balls, but he had a small penis.
Is that what they said?
That's the comments I read. And they were just like, everybody's like, someone was like, "Where's the meat?"
Well, the picture I saw, I had it blurred out, so I couldn't see it very well. So I didn't see the actual clear video, but I don't know.
If you Google, I'm sure it's probably somewhere. I still haven't seen it, but yeah, they were just like, his balls were big, but he had a tiny penis.
But I think it's kind of stupid, though. I just think it's funny because people are so like funny about nudity. And in America, it's like, oh, so his balls fall out. Sorry, we all, men have balls, so sorry. No big deal.
But that's just like the Olympian guy. He was in the Olympics and he was running and his dick popped out. I think he was black guy. I think he was from like Kenya or something like that.
It must have been a big one.
And it popped, and it was a big one. It was.
Yeah. I thought so.
The videos out there, they have an unedited video, and then they have the video where they blurred it out.
There was one where a guy was walking across.
It popped out, and it was big.
There was one where this guy, he was black, and he was walking across the street, and I saw it like a few weeks ago, and it was like a security, like a public security camera on the street, and he was like walking on the sidewalk, crossing the sidewalk, and he was wearing shorts, and his dick was it was probably 10 inches long, soft, okay? It was fucking huge, and it flopped out of his shorts, and it was just going boom, 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 and he's walking across the street. I was like, oh my God. And he's like, oh, and he pushes it back under. I was like, if I had that dick
Where
that
was
big,
this at?
It was online. It was like, I don't know, weeks ago I saw it. I don't remember where it was.
Wow.
And I was like, if I had a dick that big, I'd be sure to wear underwear, for God's sakes. Come on. Anyway, so let's talk about Nene versus Kim Zolciak on The Housewives of Atlanta.
I'm not touching up on this shit. I just want to read. I didn't even click on the topic. I just saw it and I just thought I'd address it and keep it moving. So Nene and Kim have been going back and forth. They've been frenemies, I guess you want to call it that,
Yeah.
forever. So now Nene and Kim are supposedly at each other's throats again. This time because Nene said that Kim's daughter Brielle, I think that's the oldest one, right? I think her name is Brielle. That
not Brio. It's
no, I said Brielle.
oh,
That's what I
Brielle.
said.
Yeah, sorry.
They're saying that she's lately been getting involved in a quote unquote adult situations too much, or whatever the case may be, and she's staying in her own lane and that type of thing. I didn't read into it. It was exhausting. I didn't want to read into it, but um, it was just like they've been going back and forth. Remember last time they've had so many situations. They had the situation where Nene hit Kim at the parking lot in Target. Then there was a situation where they were on the tour bus. Remember that scene a few years ago? Well, more than a few years ago. When they was on the tour bus and Kim was on tour with Candy.
Yeah. That was good.
And then Kim and Nene were like, they got the bus and Nene off the bus, and Nene was like, I'll throw your little ass in that pond over there. And it's about, that type of thing. Oh, but then they said that, here's the thing that did catch my eye, though. Nene said that, I'm just paraphrasing, but it's something along the lines like Kim is taking advantage of black people or something like that. And when I first read it, I knew where she was coming from because you remember years ago, Kim had an assistant named Sweetie.
Yes, I do.
Black girl.
I do remember that. Yes.
And remember how she would talk to her? She would talk to her like real mean and nasty sometimes and stuff like that.
And she's black, so that made it worse.
Right. And then when they had the reunion, I remember like Sheree and Nene and a few other people were just like, well, sometimes you do talk to her and it makes us a little uncomfortable because they were just like, because Sheree was saying something like Kim had called her like a black bitch or some shit like that, or go over there and get that, you black bitch, or something like that, or something like that. Now, me, I would have been like, okay, I don't give a damn if you're paying me, and now I understand you signing these checks, but you're not gonna talk to me all crazy,
right?
But now, supposedly she's doing this again with another assistant, and they supposed to have an issue with it. I'm sure it'll probably unfold on the show when the show comes on.
I don't think Kim Zolciak's probably the easiest boss to have. I mean, she's going to be very high demanding.
Very high maintenance and that type of thing. I used to really like Kim in the beginning. I really, really did. But lately, ever since she's been married to Troy or Croy or whatever the fuck his name is, she done got the big head and she been popping babies out left and right.
She's done now, but yeah.
and it's like, girl, like
she wanted a big family. That's what they wanted. That's okay.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. But it's just like her head has gotten too big. She thinks she's the shit now, and I'm like, girl, your husband ain't even working, and neither are you. So it's like.
Damn,
whatever.
You're harsh. God, you're so harsh.
I'm just listen, I'm not being harsh. I'm telling the truth. She's not working, and neither is he. He's not signed to a team.
She is working on the Housewives, the reality show. That's working, and he was on a team for a long time, and so
she's not holding a peach. She's a friend of the show, according to what they're saying on Bravo.
She still gets paid something, maybe not much.
Yeah, she probably ain't getting like like an official cast member,
scale,
but
But anyway,
I don't like him anymore. I really like him, but I don't like that bitch no more.
I'm not crazy. I was never crazy about her anyway. Now this is interesting to me. I knew this was happening because we're a huge fan of the show Fixer Upper, and we saw that they're going to end the show after this season. This 5th season will be the final season of Fixer Upper. And my husband is from Waco. And, I know all about Waco. I know about the Gayxyz and all that shit. And I've been to the Magnolia Bakery, and I've been to Magnolia, the Silos, and all their other shit down there. And so they might as well start calling Waco Magnolia now, by the way, because they own so much shit. But anyway, they are ending their show, and you said it's due to security issues. What did you mean by that?
Right, so they're saying that, let's see, I'm just paraphrasing. I'm going to paraphrase, and I'm going to actually read what they have on here. So pretty much people have been coming to their house. And taking pictures.
Their farm. Yeah.
Right. So, and pretty much it's getting to the point where it's getting uncomfortable for them. They were just like, people are coming to our door hours of the night, taking pictures. They know where we live, and then they take pictures and post shit on the media, on social media. Say, oh, this is where they live. Like people are actually doing this, like taking pictures of their house and be like, oh, they're at this address at blah 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 blah, Waco, Texas.
But it's not going to change when they stop doing the show. It may die down a little, but it's not going to ever change. People are still going to have a thirst to see, where they live and all that kind of bullshit. But they don't even live on the farm, the ranch or the farm. They live somewhere else because of this, I read. So because of the fact that people were driving by all hours of the night, whatever. So they don't even live there. I don't know where they live now, but it's not on their farm. So anyway, that's sad. Last couple things, Mariah Carey, Piers Morgan interview, and then we'll talk about your Fort Worth thing.
Oh my God! Did you see that interview with Mariah Carey and Piers Morgan?
A new one, a recent one?
The one. This is earlier this, on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday of this week. So you know how Mariah is when she does these fucking. Okay. Let me get on Mariah right quick. I'm about to check Mariah real quick. Mariah, it was cute when you were doing this thing laid out across the couch with this, evening gown on and got your hair all done and makeup all done. Like, girl, give it a rest. At this point now, it's getting old. It's getting tiresome. And I like you, Mariah, but it's like... So they were doing this interview. Piers Morgan was interviewing her about something. And then at the same time, I guess the news was breaking. Or she just found out that there was a shooting in Vegas. So Piers Morgan was asking her questions about it. And you can tell it was kind of like unexpected because she was just like, oh, it's, that's terrible and everything. And, yada, yada, yada. But the way she was laying on that couch... And not to mention, she had a fucking Christmas tree in the background. I'm like, bitch, why do you have a Christmas tree up? It's fucking October, okay? So then she was like, oh, it's horrible and everything. Then she's like playing with the hair and trying to, it was just horrible. Like that interview was uncomfortable to watch, mainly because it was uncomfortable watching her. Because she was just like, I was like, you should have had better angles when you did this interview because she looked like a stuffed sausage in that red dress.
She looks horrible. I mean, yeah, she's stuffed.
Do you see it?
No, I'm not looking, but I've seen her. I know what she looks like. She's stuffed herself into everything now.
Oh, and here's another thing. Mariah Carey, here's another thing. So a few weeks ago, VH1 had the hip hop honors, which they were honoring hip hop music from the 90s. Now I love hip hop music, and I love hip hop music in the 90s because they had like Lil' Kim and Missy Elliott and back when hip hop music was real. Because this shit now, I mean, it's okay, but it ain't nothing like it was in the 90s. So they had a whole bunch of these artists from the 90s to perform and that type of thing.
Ooh, but girl, she looks horrible.
You see that? She looks
a
fucking mess.
She looks horrible. Wow.
And this is just a few days ago. This was just done a few days ago.
Well, she's always had issues with her weight. That's okay. But it's not just that. It's just she's just not even trying. She's just like laying there like a lazy bitch. And oh my God.
So here's the thing. But here's the thing. Every year they honor an artist for the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, and I normally watch because I like hip hop and I love seeing various artists perform, make their speeches or whatever the case may be. So this year VH1 honors Mariah Carey, and that's the first thing I said. I said, wait a minute, bitch, Mariah Carey ain't a fucking hip hop artist. Why are they honoring Mariah Carey? So, and I know she's done a lot of collaborations with hip hop artists, but I'm like, bitch, she's not a hip hop. She's a R&B singer or R&B/pop singer. She's not a hip hop artist. So I was like, okay, whatever, leave that alone. So then she comes out and performs. Donovan, she came out and gave us the most lackluster ass performance I've ever seen on TV. It's like she's still doing that shit where she had people carrying her around and dipping her.
Yeah.
I was like, Mariah, stop, boo-boo, stop. Like, just stop. This whole thing with them picking you up and lifting you down and you walking across and twirling the microphone and girl.
But I think the funny thing about this is that she's like, I mean, not funny, but I mean, they keep asking her about the attack in Vegas, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know that much about it." And then they're like, what do you think? And da, da, da. She's like, I'll just pray for the victims, blah blah blah, people dying, how sad, or something like that.
Because she really didn't know what to say, I guess.
I don't know. Well, she's an idiot if she can't think of something better to say than that. I mean, she's an idiot, and plus she has her fucking Christmas tree up in October. What's that about?
That's the same thing I said. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, why is your Christmas tree up?
I think Christmas is her favorite holiday or some shit. She named her kid Christmas, didn't she, or something?
And I'm pretty sure she's still probably getting those good old residual checks from that Christmas song, "All I Want for Christmas Is You" or whatever. Now, to me, that song will never get old around the holidays. I will say that.
Christmas is for me. What?
Huh?
You mean All I Want for Christmas?
That's what I said.
Oh, God, I guess I'm mishearing things. Continue.
So yeah, I said because she made that song what 20 years ago, and it's
Yeah.
still it's popping every year.
Yeah.
Now that is a song I love listening to around the holidays, and
Yeah.
that song it's just puts me in the Christmas mood. But anyway,
So let's talk about your Fort Worth thing as we go to the end of the show.
oh yes, yes, yes. So I was helping a friend yesterday, and we had to go over to Fort Worth. She wanted to go purchase a car in Fort Worth, right? So she was like, well, I don't have anyone to help me with the cars or whatever the case may be, that type of thing. So long story short, I was like, well, how about we just drive my car, and that way you can, when you pick up your car, sign all the paperwork, whatever the case may be, get your car, you leave, I get my car and leave, that type of thing. We were at the dealership for about 4 hours, which is, I guess, the standard when you're purchasing a car, I guess. And we ended up leaving, so I ended up leaving with her first. So we got in her car, and then something came up on her end to where she had to go home because her son had some type of issue, something like that. I said, well, no, go ahead and go home. I said, she lives in Denton, so I was like, you can drop me off since you're going right through Dallas to get to Denton. So I was like, you can drop me off at home, and then I'll just, take, the TRE, which is the Trinity Railway Express for the people who don't live here. It's a train that connects from Dallas to Fort Worth. So, I said, well, I'll just take the train back over there, and then I'll Uber to go get my car and drive it back, which I did. So I get on the train. I took the DART train at Forest Lane Station, which is right up the street from my house, and I take the DART train. Now, mind you, I was taking this at night. It was so creepy up there. Like, the people that were hanging, the panhandlers, and I was like, oh, no. And I said, I'm glad I don't have a lot of money on me. Make sure I'm glad I only have cards, because if I get robbed, I can, call and cancel some shit, right? So I get on the train, and I get off at Mockingbird Station to transfer over. No, I get off at Victory Park Station to transfer to get on the TRE that goes to Fort Worth. So I had already planned this out, looked it up on my phone, everything like that. The TRE train smelled like piss, okay? And I had to stay on that bitch from downtown Dallas to downtown Fort Worth, and it smelled like complete piss. It was like people asking me questions. They was like, hey, yo, man, you know what time it is? I'm like, there's a fucking clock, like, on the fucking platform that displays the time and what time the train is coming. Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't understand it. And people was like, oh, do you have, you guys a few dollars you can loan me? No, I don't. I don't have any fucking money I can give you. I barely had enough money to get this fucking train and go get my fucking car. So it's like, I don't have any money.
When you're on the train? I mean, people who take the train generally are not going to be well off anyway. So
I mean, the only thing is the train was actually pretty packed, and that was because it was a lot of people who were leaving the State Fair of Texas, and a lot of them were going to Fort Worth.
Yeah,
that was the only reason. If it wasn't for the State Fair, I would have been on that train like by myself, maybe a few other people. But I kind of like the fact that the State Fair people were on the train because I felt safer.
Well, yeah.
I was like, I said, it's less likely that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy sitting behind me, and he was doing like the speech to text on his phone.
Oh my God, really?
And he was like speaking the responses out loud where everyone could hear it. I was like, are you really having this fucking conversation where everyone? He was just talking about, yeah, I really want to be in a relationship too, but my baby mom was giving me shit. Like, I can't stand that bitch, but I do love my son. Like, he's saying all of this out loud for speech to text, right?
Wow.
I almost want to take a picture and put it on Facebook, but I was like, I was like, well, it's dark. The flash may accidentally go off, and then that's a whole nother story. So he was just like, yeah. And then somebody called, and he was just like, yeah, I'm on the train to Fort Worth, and they were talking about something, and his response was, man, I don't want to go all the way to fucking Rockwall to go pick somebody up or whatever. I was like, get me off this fucking train. Get me off of this train right now. Then I get to downtown Fort Worth. I'm finally at my destination. I'm like, okay, the worst is over, right? Or so I thought. Get off the train. Same guy that asked me what time it was asked another person what time it is. And he comes back to me. He was like, do you know what time it is? I was like, you just asked me what time it was like 45 minutes ago. I was like, but I was like, I'm nice. I said, it was like 10:30 or no, it was like maybe 10 o'clock or something like that. Maybe close to 10. I don't know. I was like, yeah, it's like 9:55. He was like, okay. And then he was just like, do you know where this bus is going to go? I was like, no, because I don't live in Fort Worth. I guess he was trying to catch a bus to go to some particular part of Fort Worth. I know. He was like, do you know where this bus goes? I said, no, I'm like, but the driver's right there. You can ask him. I'm sure he knows. So it was just horrible. Then I took the Uber. The nicest part of this whole trip was my Uber driver. He was so nice and so helpful, and we talked, and I was everything. I was just like, I told the guy in the car, I was like, I've been around all types of strangers and mangy dogs and that type of thing. So if I smell like piss, I apologize because I said I've been on a train that smells like piss for the past 45 minutes. And it was horrible. So I said, if it seems like I'm venting to you, I probably am, and I apologize in advance.
Well, I'm glad you finally got there. Okay, and back. That's good.
But I did. And then here's the thing: the traffic was good coming back because it was like 10 o'clock at night. You do not realize how long that fucking drive is until you drive it alone. And the radio's insane. I mean, it felt like maybe I was already tired or something, but because I didn't get that much sleep the night before, it felt like I was never going to fucking get home. It took me over an hour to get home in my car, and with no traffic.
Yeah. Yeah,
It took me like an hour and 10 minutes. I was like,
well, Jason, Fort Worth is 45 miles from here. What do you expect?
I was like, I would never do this again. I was so upset with myself.
People always think that Fort Worth and Dallas are right next to each other. Like you can just walk
a lot
across
of
the
people
street.
do. A lot of people that don't live in Texas think that
it's like fucking 45 minutes away. Yeah.
My sister said the same thing. She's like, oh, I thought Dallas and Fort Worth were like 20 minutes apart. I was like, no. It's over an hour away. Like
they are not the same city, people. Not the same city at all, and completely different places, by the way. But anyway.
Right.
All right,
so
everybody.
that was my thing. So
I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for listening. By the way, William, I appreciate you listening to the show. Chase, you too. Thank you.
Spread the word about Gayxyz, people.
We really appreciate you listening to the show and coming back this week. We hope to see you again next week. We'll probably be back on Thursdays.
We'll be back on Thursday because last night was totally my fault. So
unless, of course,
I will own up to that.
Unless, of course, something happens. I don't know. We'll see. But whatever. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And we'll be back next week with a new show. And you can always follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on Spreaker and on our website, of course, gayxyz.com. So hope to see you guys then. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. Love you all.
Bye. Stay gay. Yeah.